Morning. Morning. See, all of you people braved this really cold weather. Good, I'm happy. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Hobart, where we strive to put love at the center of how we show up in the world. My name's Barb Langle. I'm the worship associate this morning. Unitarian Universalism is unapologetically progressive. This church affirms the inherent worth and dignity of all people through anti-racism, anti-oppression, supporting the LGBTQIA+ community, working for reproductive justice, voting rights, and other issues as needed. We seek to build a beloved community, not only here, but in our surrounding area. So welcome to you. Old friends and new friends, young and old, you are an essential part of our celebration today. Whether today is your first or your 1000th Sunday in our midst, we are stronger because you are here with us. We are one people of many beliefs, many origins, sexualities, and genders. We are all growing, all learning, all loved. Just as you are welcome here. Today, our worship service will be led by our minister, Cathy, Reverend Cathy Harrington. Since not everyone can attend in person, we are streaming this worship service online, and we extend a special welcome to all of those that are joining us virtually. Another way that we walk together is by joining together for fun and fellowship. In the interest of time, if you have an announcement to share, please send it in an email to Ashley in the office by Wednesday. Look for our weekly Spark for more announcements, and if you don't receive the Spark, fill out a visitor form in the parish hall. And I will say, Tiffany's doing a great job with the Spark. Thank you, Tiffany. So I have a few announcements. The Christmas story is a Jewish tale of welcoming of the stranger. On Christmas Eve, before Vesper services, we will hold an interfaith vigil for our immigrant neighbors in front of our church. Doors open at 3 for sign making. Candlelight vigil begins at 3:30. Dress for the weather. I don't think it's going to be this cold. It's going to warm up some. We will gather afterwards in the parish hall for a quick snack, a warm beverage before the 5 p.m. Vesper service. We will have a box in the parish hall to collect Aldi gift cards before and after the Vesper services for the Welcome Network in Hammond. There will be no new membership orientation this Thursday. We got through it all last Thursday. So hopefully we'll have some soon again for people who couldn't make it. At our harvest meal, we had a painting auction, and the 2 winners were Carrie DeBusk and Sandy Waters, just so you know. Thank you. Maggie? Oh, there you are.
Yes, Tiffany's doing an amazing job with the Spark. How many have looked at the Spark under the new, thank you. Yes, it's fabulous, isn't it? So you may have noticed the announcement about a Christmas carol. And I know that you can buy tickets at the door, but it would be really great if we knew your intentions, that we have enough people to make a great audience for a Christmas carol. It is, according to the ad in the Spark, spellbinding. And I will tell you, personally, I saw it in a theater and then I saw it here. And it was even more spellbinding from up here, from our stage, from our quietly lit. This is a one-man Christmas story like you've never seen it. He plays all the characters and it's just stunning. So if you have a little time on December 21st, next Sunday, please make it a point. And I think we'll be selling tickets after church. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie. Now, please take a moment to greet your neighbors. Greet your neighbor, really greet them. Say hello to someone you don't know. That's enough greeting. So now turn off or silence your devices, and as you do so, allow yourself to enter sacred time together. And take a deep breath. And another. And join in the spirit of reverence.
Can't make this thing work. Each week, during our Sunday morning worship service, we join in reciting the words of our affirmation, which are printed in your order of service and also on the screen. Please join me in these words. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament. Service is its prayer. And this is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Unitarian Universalism. It suggests the transformation that takes place when we are held within religious community. When we light the chalice in worship, we illuminate the world and that we feel called upon to serve with love and a sense of justice. So please join me in lighting our chalice by reading together the words on the screen or in your order of service. We gather this hour
celebration of the life we share together.
Now please stand if you're willing and able for the doxology.
Every Wow, that was beautiful. So this morning I have a different invocation than what's in your order of service. Because I decided to change it last minute. So this is called The Holiday Miracle by Gwen Matthews. As December moves into darkness, we welcome in the gift of reflection. We turn toward holiday celebrations and search for common threads of meaning. We begin with Yule, the winter solstice, and we are invited to explore duality, cycles, and seasons, and to witness the Holy King being overcome by the Oak King. Yule reminds us that we all partake in the miracle of renewal. Hanukkah, the festival of lights, commemorates a time of miracles when the faith of the Jewish people sustained them to reclaim their holy temple and keep the light of the menorah burning for 8 days. And Christmas, the celebration of Jesus' humble birth in a manger, offers us to revisit the miracle of birth and the desire to find saviors to heal the scars of humanity. I don't know why this is a great device, but it's not cooperating with me this morning. So here in our church, you are just as much a holiday miracle as the turning of the earth, as persistent and dedicated to a faith as a creation of new life. We see the love you give to others, the space you create to hold one another's joys and sorrows, and the generosity and spirit that you entrust to this community. You are the holiday miracle. This community is one of many miracle workers. It is good to be together again. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing our opening hymn, number 55, Dark of Winter. The story for all ages this morning is called Herschel and the Hanukkah Goblins. It's a scary story, just a heads up. It's by Jimmy Kimmel. It was the first night of Hanukkah. Herschel of Ostropol was walking down the road. He was tired and hungry. Nonetheless, his step was light. Soon he would reach the next village where bright candles, merry songs, and platters piled high with tasty potato latkes awaited him. But when he arrived, the village was silent and dark. Not a single Hanukkah candle could be seen. "Isn't tonight the first night of Hanukkah?" he asked. "We don't have Hanukkah, Herschel." "No Hanukkah? How can that be?" Well, it's because of the goblins. They haunt the old synagogue at the top of the hill, and they hate Hanukkah. Whenever we try to light a menorah, the goblins blow out the candles. They break our dreidels. They throw our potato latkes on the floor. Those wicked goblins make our lives miserable all year long. But on Hanukkah, it is really bad. So Herschel decided he needed to help the village people. I'm not afraid of goblins. Tell me how to get rid of them. Well, it's not as easy as you think, they said. You must spend 8 nights in the old synagogue. The Hanukkah candles must be lit each night. And on the 8th night, the king of the goblins must light them himself. That is the only way to break their power. Oh, I'm not afraid, Rabbi, Herschel said. If I can't outwit a few goblins, then my name ain't Herschel of Osterpol. And so the villagers wished him luck, and they had no potato latkes to give him, so they packed some hard-boiled eggs and a jar of pickles. The rabbi gave Herschel a brass menorah and a package of candles, and of course a box of matches. And the villagers said goodbye, with nobody ever expecting to see Herschel ever again. It was long past sundown by the time Herschel climbed to the top of the hill where the old synagogue stood. The crumbling building was gloomy and dark, and the rusty hinges squealed as Herschel opened the door. He shuddered. Well, he could believe that goblins lived here. He put 2 candles in the menorah and set it on the windowsill. He struck a match and lit the shamus candle, said the blessing, and he was about to light the other candle when he heard a voice. Hey, what are you doing? Herschel turned around, and there was a goblin no bigger than a horsefly, with a long pointy tail and bat wings, hovering in the air. I'm lighting Hanukkah candles. Tonight is the first night of Hanukkah. Oh, no, it's not. We don't allow Hanukkah, not around here. Well, is that so? Who's going to stop me, a little pipsqueak like you? I may be little, but I'm strong, said the goblin. Really, can you crush rocks in your hands? Asked Herschel. The goblin laughed. Crush rocks? You're joking. Nobody's that strong. I am. Watch. And so Herschel took a hard-boiled egg from his pocket, and he squeezed it until the yolk and the white ran through his fingers. That's how hard I'm going to squeeze you, he said, if you try to stop me from lighting these candles. The goblin's eyes grew wide, since in the dim light the egg looked exactly like a rock. The goblin shook with fear. You leave me alone, he squeaked. Gladly, if you let me light my candles in peace. All right, one night won't make a difference, but you better not come back here tomorrow. Big, scary goblins are coming, and they won't like you if you're lighting Hanukkah candles. Oh, we'll see about that, Herschel thought to himself. The second night, the goblin appeared. This one was big and fat and waddled like a goose. Herschel was finishing his dinner of pickles and hard-boiled eggs. Have some pickles, he said to the goblin. Pickles? Here, catch. The goblin caught one in his mouth and swallowed it. Pickles are good. Do you like them? I have plenty in this jar. Take all you want. So the greedy goblin grabbed as many pickles as his claws could hold, and when he tried to pull his fist out of the jar, he couldn't get it out. I'm stuck. You put a spell on this jar to hold me fast. That's right, Herschel said, laughing, and it's a very powerful spell. You came here tonight to stop me from lighting Hanukkah candles, so now I'm going to light them while you stand there with your hand in the jar and watch. How do you like that? No, the goblin screamed. I hate Hanukkah. Too bad, you'll have to get used to it. Herschel said the blessings and lit the candles slowly. And then he sang all his favorite Hanukkah songs, and the goblin wailed and carried on so much that Herschel finally decided to let him go. Shall I tell you how to break the spell? Yes, I can't stand it anymore. Just let go of the pickles. Your greed is the only spell holding you prisoner. So the goblin let go of the pickles. His hand slipped out of the jar easily. And how he raged. He stood with his hand in the pickle jar while Herschel lit candles under his nose. And the furious goblin stamped his foot so hard that he shattered into 1,000,000 pieces. The wind blew them away. The third night came, and Herschel felt something watching him as he set the candles in the menorah. Instead of lighting them, he began playing with a dreidel. An hour passed, and Herschel looked up. Sitting across the table was another goblin. This one had a fiery red face and 2 enormous horns. "It's getting late," the goblin said. "When are you going to light those candles?" Later. There's plenty of time. Herschel spun his dreidel. "This is more fun." "What are you playing with? It looks like a top." "It's a dreidel. Don't you know about dreidels?" "No." "Too bad. Dreidels are lots of fun, and you can make lots of money if you know how to play." Really? The goblin was interested now, because goblins love money. And this one was no exception. "Show me how to play. It's very simple, but you must have gold. That's the first rule." "Oh, I have plenty of gold. Is this enough?" And he put a pile of coins on the table. "Oh, that's fine," said Herschel. "Listen carefully. This letter is Shin. If it comes up, you hand me a handful of gold. And this letter is Hai. And if it comes up, give me half your gold. And this letter is Gamil. And if the dreidel falls on this letter, you give me all your gold. Understand?" "That's none. If the dreidel falls..." "Wait, there's one letter left," he said. "What about this one?" "Oh, that's none. And if it falls on none, then I don't give you anything." "Ready? Let's play. You go first." So the goblin spun the dreidel, and the little top whirled round and round, and when it fell, the letter was on Shin. "Too bad," Herschel said, taking the handful of the goblin's gold. "Try again." The goblin spun the dreidel again, and it fell on Hai. "Hey, this isn't your night," he said, helping himself to half of the goblin's gold. "One more time, your luck is bound to improve." And once again, the goblin spun, and it landed on Gamel. "Too bad," Herschel sighed as he took the rest of the goblin's gold. "Would you like me to spin?" "Yes," said the goblin. He grumbled. He was very unhappy about losing his money. And Herschel spun the dreidel, and this time none was on top. "Oh my, I don't have to give you any money. I get to keep all the gold. Say, that was fun. Get some more gold and we'll play again." So the goblin said, "Well, what about the Hanukkah candles?" "We'll light them later. There's plenty of time." "Not for me. I'm leaving now, and I don't like this game, and I don't like Hanukkah, and I don't like you." "Don't go," Herschel pleaded. "I have lots of games. Stay. We'll have lots of fun." And the goblin spread his wings and flew off into the night, and Herschel lit his candles. Other nights, the goblins came. One had 6 heads. One had 3 eyes. All were terrible and fierce. They growled and roared, and they tried to stop Herschel from lighting candles, but Herschel, being very clever, fooled them all. And finally, the 7th night arrived, and 8 tiny candles flickered on the windowsill. Herschel sat back to enjoy their light. Well, where were the goblins, he thought. Where are they? Are they fooled and they're not ever coming back? Have they given up? And his eyes got heavy, and he was tired, so he fell asleep. And suddenly he heard a horrible sound. It sounded like the cracking of bones. "Happy Hanukkah, Herschel of Osterpol." "Who is it? Don't you know who I am, Herschel? Weren't you expecting the king of goblins?" The voice rose to a hurricane roar, and it ripped the shingles from the synagogue roof, and the Hanukkah candles reeled in the savage blast, but they did not go out. "You're too early," Herschel shrieked. "You're not due until tomorrow night." The great wind died down. "Don't worry, Herschel, I'm far away, but I have the power to see you and speak to you. Enjoy your last Hanukkah evening. Tomorrow night I will come for you." Poor Herschel, what was he going to do? The king of goblins was on his way, and no power on earth could stop him, unless Herschel had an idea. It was the only way to save him and Hanukkah. The last night of Hanukkah, Herschel set the candles in the menorah, but instead of placing it on the windowsill, he put the menorah and the box of matches on a small table near the door, and he sat to wait. Night fell, it drew as dark as pitch inside the gloomy old synagogue, and the whole world lay cold and quiet. And suddenly a great gust whipped the synagogue from its hinges, and the whole building shook, and a fearsome voice spoke, "Herschel of Osterpol. Did I hear something?" "It is I, the king of the goblins," Herschel laughed. "Don't be silly. You're one of the boys from the village." "I'm not a boy. I am the king of goblins. I'll believe it when I see it. Show yourself to me." "Behold, I stand in front of you. Do you believe me now?" And Herschel tried not to look. Even in the darkness, he could see the outline of the monstrous shape, a figure too horrible to comprehend, and he pretended not to care. "It's too dark, I can't see anything. A candlestick and some matches are by the doorway. Why don't you light a few candles? Then I'll see what you really are." "Indeed you shall," and a match flared, and the shamus candle caught the flame. Herschel's blood turned to water at the awful sight before him, but he didn't lose his courage. "Master of the world," he prayed, "thou who created the heavens and earth and the spirits of the air, stand by me now." And then he addressed the goblin. "It's still too dark. What are you afraid of? There are plenty of candles. Why not light them all?" And a hideous hand took the shamus candle and lit the others one by one. Herschel felt himself growing faint, but he forced himself to look. His eyes grew wider and wider as each candle caught flame. 6, 7, 8. The king of goblins stood before him. "Now, Herschel, do you know who I am?" "Well, I know you're not Queen Esther," Herschel said. "Very funny. Enjoy the joke. It will be your last." "That's what you think," Herschel said. "Be gone. I'll take a stick to you." "How dare you speak to the king of goblins that way?" "I'll speak to you any way I please. You have no power. Your spell is broken. The menorah is lit. You thought those were ordinary candles, but they were Hanukkah candles, and you lit them yourself." And so the king of goblins roared with fury, and the earth trembled, and a mighty wind arose and ripped the synagogue roof off and blew down the walls. It splintered the great timbers and scattered them like matchsticks, and the menorah, around the menorah, the wind howled, but the candles never flickered. They burned with clear, steady flames. The king of the goblins had no power over them. And as the great wind vanished as suddenly as it had risen, Herschel rubbed his eyes, and the night was as still as it was before. Even the foundation of the foundation stones had vanished, but the menorah remained still. Herschel waited till the last candle burned down, and he went down to the village, where the whole village was waiting for him. And that's the terribly scary story of Herschel and the Hanukkah goblins. Thank you for your patience.
Each week, we share a portion of our Sunday offering with a social justice cause outside of our church walls. Every month, it's different, but this month, it's in our walls. It's for the minister's discretionary fund. It is to help, the minister can help congregants, friends, and even strangers in a time of an emergency. So donations in the baskets will go to sustaining the mission of our congregation, and donations in the cups goes to support the minister's fund. Those that are not with us today, there's an online link for both one-time and regular donations. I need 4 volunteers to come forward and carry the baskets and cups. For your prayers, your presence, your service, and your gifts, we are truly grateful.
In the center of our service and in the center of our lives, let us pause to honor the silences of the world. Let us open our hearts to the place of quiet, to the silent prayer for the healing of pain and the soft, gentle coming of love. This morning, as we honor the Hanukkah season, we hold the Jewish community in our hearts. We are grateful for the religious pluralism in our world that expands our understanding of God and the fullness of life. We also hold in our hearts the victims from the Brown University school shooting. This is a difficult time in our history, and right now we have anti-Semitism spreading around the world. So let us just pause for a moment of silence as we benefit from learning from the richness of the Jewish tradition and the message of Hanukkah, which is that God's light burns in the darkness, even without oil. There is a place within everyone that carries that light. And God has not only given us the chance to carry that light, Rachel Naomi Remen says, she has made it possible for us to kindle and strengthen the light in one another, passing the light along. And this is the way that the light will shine in the world forever. Let us pause for a moment of silence. I invite you now to come forward and light a candle of memory or hope, or just sit quietly as the music holds us in a meditative space. My candle. My candle's missing. Oh, there it is. Good to have you back. Hello. And now let us fill this sacred space with the names of loved ones that we hold close this morning in our hearts, some suffering in sorrow and some celebrating in joy. May they feel the warmth of our embrace.
Joys and sorrows are time to share personal joys that you are celebrating, so that we can celebrate with you as a community. It is also time to share personal sorrow that weighs on your heart, so that we can support you in your sorrow or grief. It is not a time for announcements or a long story. One sentence or two is usually enough to get your point across, so there's time for others. Our worship service contains multiple threads and has been chosen with care. The joys and sorrows element is meant to be no more than 5 minutes. Keep this in mind and be aware that this part of the service excludes online members and guests. We ask that you honor this sacred time by being as brief as you can so that we can honor everyone's time and that we can leave space for joys and sorrows for others in this room while respecting the people joining us online.
Me, I'll be around.
Roz is coming with the microphone.
So centering him.
Number 95.
I have a reading, How the Light Comes, by Jan Richardson. I cannot tell you how the light comes. What I know is that it's more ancient than imagined, that it travels across an astounding expanse to reach us, that it loves searching out what is hidden, what is lost, what is forgotten, or in peril, or in pain, that it has a fondness for the body, for finding its way towards flesh, or tracing the edges of forms, the shining forth through the eyes, the hand, the heart. I cannot tell you how the light comes, but that it does, and that it will, and that it works its way into the deepest dark that enfolds you. Though it may seem long ages in coming, or arrive in a shape you did not foresee, and so, may we this day turn ourselves toward it. May we lift our faces and let it find us. May we bend our bodies to follow the arc it makes. May we be open, and open more, and open still to the blessed light that comes.
So today is the third Sunday of Advent, which the theme is joy. And this evening at sundown marks the beginning of the 8th-day celebration of Hanukkah. And Solstice is a week away. Yes, it's not even winter yet, believe it or not. So the three holidays overlap, and people celebrate them differently, but they all bring light into the world. Carol Oakes marvels at how ancient pagan traditions predating Christian holidays can bring deeper, insightful meaning to our religious holidays. She likes to call it the pagan effect, which I kind of liked. So this morning we're going to talk about Hanukkah. So a rabbi was speaking on religion and ethics. PBS used to have a show that I don't know if they still do, about the story of Hanukkah. It's a holiday of freedom, recalling the successful Jewish revolt around 165 BC against the Syrians who had conquered and occupied Jerusalem. The revolt was led by a Jewish family called the Maccabees. And Rabbi Benton says, "We accept this to be the first battle for freedom of religion. There were a very few up against a great majority. They conquered Jerusalem and were able to retake their temple. Archaeologists have found evidence that the Maccabees really existed and that they really did defeat the army, the dynasty, over 2,000 years ago. And that is when the story of Hanukkah begins. They worked to restore the temple, and then they decided not to light the menorah. They didn't want to use the oil that had been defiled. They found one cruse of oil, which was enough to last for one day, that had not been tampered with. And the amazing miracle was that that little bit of oil, instead of just burning for an hour or two, burned for the entire night. And this happened for 8 consecutive nights. Now, archaeologists have not found proof that that actually happened. But the story is wonderful, and it does bring hope. And so this amazing miracle, the miracle of purity and sanctity and boldness, is true more than anything else. The blessing that the Jews make over the menorah, they specifically state that this is a celebration that happened back then. But in these days, no matter what happens in your life, even if the world seems to crash around you, there's still a candle that continues to burn. And that is the menorah, the story of the menorah. So essentially, it is the spirit of people, and it is the miracle of God over man. So this is an important story for our times as well. The Reverend Gretchen Haley says, "It's important that we remember, and what makes this story especially important for us today is that something else miraculous happened, something that made those 8 nights possible. It was that they made the choice to light the lamp in the first place, even though everything seemed hopeless, even though it seemed like their effort could not be enough. In December of 2022, after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Kyiv celebrated Hanukkah in a ceremony that reflected on Ukrainians still left in darkness due to the Russian attacks on their infrastructure. In Kyiv's famous Independence Square, also known as Maidan, the 39-foot-high Hanukkah menorah, a 9-branch candelabrum, is said to be the largest in Europe, was set and ready to illuminate their festival. Moshe Reuven Osman shares the story and says that the story of Hanukkah holds valuable lessons. We light one small candle, but if you light it in the darkest room, a small candle will push out all the darkness. I say to the Ukrainian people every day, we are the light. So there is a message that everyone can carry the light. There's another story, a modern-day miracle. I don't know, some of you may have heard it. It's the story of Billings, Montana. In essence, it's several stories. It's a story of a police chief who understood the seriousness of hate crimes and was determined to not tolerate any more under any circumstances. The story of a lay church leader who remembered a story she had heard as a child, which she used to inspire her community, and the story of clergy of all faiths practicing what they preached. And finally, the story of a town residents of many races, religions, and backgrounds who were willing to fight for the basic principle despite the risk. Here's what happened. Billings was infiltrated by skinheads and members of racist groups in early 1993. Their exact number was hard to ascertain, but shortly after their arrival, hate literature targeting Jews, blacks, and other minorities began to be distributed. Wayne Inman, the chief of police, the Billings Police Department, and Margaret McDonald, the executive director of the Montana Association of Churches, urged the town to react strongly and decisively to stop the hate. At first, people thought maybe it should simply just be ignored and that giving too much attention to it would encourage the hate mongers. But they persisted, and they started a series of teach-ins throughout the community, educating people on what might happen if they didn't take a strong stand against hate crimes. At first, few people attended, but then the attendance grew and ultimately involved a cross-section of the entire community. Chief Inman and churches became targets of threats and attacks, and they continued to act aggressively. Educators, human rights advocates, and labor leaders joined the fight, and they monitored and forcefully responded to the hate and the vandalism that occurred. A full-page ad was put in the newspaper strongly condemning hatred and bigotry, and 100 organizations placed their name on the ad, as did thousands of residents. A rally was held to declare moral equivalent of war against hate crimes, and things seemed to settle down for a little while. But several months later, as Christmas and Hanukkah approached, the synagogue in town received a series of bomb threats, and its cemetery was desecrated. Shortly after, 2 Jewish homes displaying menorahs were vandalized, and in one case, a child's bedroom window, which displayed a menorah, was shattered by a rock thrown through into the night. It landed on his bed, and had he been sleeping, he would have been seriously wounded, or worse. The parents, long active in the human rights community, spoke out eloquently and forcefully. A network of church and community members sprang into the action. The Reverend Tourney of the First Congregational Church argued forcefully that a meaningful symbolic gesture was needed with efforts to apprehend the vandals. And then Miss McDonald had an idea of the story she'd heard as a child, the 1943 rescue of the Danish Jews in Nazi-occupied Denmark. She suggested that all Billings residents, Christians and Jews alike, display pictures of menorahs in their windows. A short time later, hundreds of families and institutions displayed such pictures. At first, windows were broken in churches and schools, and town residents received threatening phone calls. But it only strengthened their determination. Soon thousands of menorahs were displayed throughout town, and the Billings Gazette printed a full-page color picture of a menorah and urged residents to display it on a door or a window and to show their solidarity. Thousands more soon were displayed. Major business in town replaced its regular advertising with a strong message condemning hate crimes. Other businesses followed suit. Soon schools and churches began having discussions, and children of all ages learned about the importance of fighting bullying and bigotry. Though the children and their families took action, though they may not have ever met a Jew or a black child, they started to think about how those children must feel being targets of hatred. So when it was time for the Hanukkah services to be held in the tiny synagogue of Billings, dozens and dozens of Christians came to worship with their Jewish neighbors. There was room to accommodate everybody. Eventually, the hate speech and acts of intimidation ceased. And in the years since those events, communities across this country have been inspired by Billings. Winston Churchill once said that courage is a virtue that makes all other virtues possible. Billings will hopefully inspire us to reflect not only on the importance of courage, but on the true meaning of the holidays and the importance of our religious freedom and loving our neighbors as ourselves. Less than 2% of Americans are Jewish, so small acts of solidarity can help empower the Jewish community against anti-Semitic hate, which is rising around the world and clearly in our country. This was highlighted by a terrorist attack on a Jewish beach event, a Hanukkah event in Sydney, Australia last night, killing 12 people and injuring 28 more. So may we rededicate ourselves to the miracle of light in a season of darkness, to a miracle of trust in a time of anxiety, to a miracle of hope in a time of despair, and to the miracle of faith in a time of cynicism. May we rededicate ourselves to the miracle of wholeness in the time of fracture, and to the miracle of courage in the time of fear, and also to the miracle of resistance in a time of oppression, and the miracle of peace in the time of violence. In this time of hatred, may we dedicate ourselves to the miracle of love. 14th century philosopher Meister Eckhart once said, "All people are meant to be the mothers of God, for God is always needing to be born." Change that word, God, to love. May love's light be born in each of us, and may we go forth to illuminate the world in peace and love. And the miracle is not that the oil lasts, it is that our hope lasts. May it be so. Amen. We're going to sing. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing hymn number 47, Now on Land and Sea Descending. Sunset glory, stars of heaven and ancient story, their creator's changeless love. Jubilate, 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 amen. Jubilate, 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 amen. Now our wants and burdens leaving, care that cease our fearing, cease we grieving, quietly our burdens fall. Jubilate, 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 amen. Jubilate, 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 amen. As the darkness deepens over us, eternal stars arise, hope and faith and love rise glorious, shining in the spirit sky. Jubilate, 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 amen. Jubilate, 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 amen.
Please join me in extinguishing the chalice. The words are in your order of service or maybe on the screen.
We extinguish,
Extinguish this flame,
but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Choosing Hope by Reverend Michelle Collins. Go from this place knowing that hope is not a certainty, but rather a choice. When the world offers you despair, choose possibility. When cynicism seems reasonable, choose engagement. May our hope be grounded in love and expressed through action and solidarity. And remember always that you are the light, and this is our singular task above all else. May it be so. Amen. And blessed be.
Bring the flower from the wind, pour the oil from the tin. Hanukkah is here, festival so green. La 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 la. Hanukkah is here, festival so near. La 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 Mix the flour so we wax with the oil, golden rye. That's how Mother makes delicious pancakes. La 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 la. Hanukkah is here, festival so near. La 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 Banish done, add some sugar. Oh, what fun! Come now, take your seats. Steaming pancakes eat. La 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 la. Hanukkah is here, festival so near. La 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 la
I've never seen that before. There are rumors of shepherd's pie. Join us.
Yeah, it's Hanukkah pancakes. Latchkey. I think he does. What's that instrument? Mandolin. Mandolin. Yeah. I didn't think it was a pancakes. It was a mandolin. It's fine. Yeah. Correct. That's the schedule. Oh, thank you so much. Good. My name's Jeremy. Good to meet you. All right. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks, Duncan. It's a mandolin. Yeah. Thank you, Maggie.
Yeah, they've had to get rid of their dog because they don't have time.
I hope so. I had to turn her down a couple times.
I tell people they the animals a lifetime. Yes, I got that. And under ordinary circumstances, that's what you do.
What's up?
Sometimes things just happen within your control.
I didn't do anything. But it looks like, yes, now that I see it, it looks like it kind of was.
The last 2 weeks,
That's me.
Oh, on the online thing.
Brent said you would sing Christmas Eve, right?
What's that?
Brent said you would sing Christmas Eve.
He did not say. So that would be awesome if you could. I mean, we're a little sparse, so whatever we can do would be great.
Who do you know is going to be there?
Yeah, I didn't do it. I think they move it for the meditation on Saturdays, and then so that's.
we're gonna have to give them a
Jerry,
but
if I could dance, I would have danced.
Thank you, Carla. I sure appreciate
Great.
that. All right.
That was great. It was like, well, let's all get up and. Oh, boy. Oh, the tree looks so pretty.
right channel? Okay.
Good.
So the left right channel is out.
Oh, yeah, I've known that for a while. It's just expensive, so we haven't fixed it. I very strongly hate soccer.
Corner's so cold.
The corner there.
Yeah.
It was the R rating of the insulation around here.
Well, this here is a window.
Oh, that's a window.
Yeah, and that's why it's all cracked the way it is. But
Oh, because I used to live outside because there was no parish hall.
right. So yeah, it goes into the shed, but you know you can still. It's just they just use like 2x6s and didn't like there's no insulation or anything in there. So
Oh, boy.
yeah. I should pull it down and